There hasn't been a Screenster Hates episode in a while, but we're returning now with a game which has absolutely no redeeming factors whatsoever. This game is a small game released in 2009 called Infernal Hell's Vengeance, which is actually a port of a 2007 game called Infernal. Now, when you take over 2.5 years to port something from one platform to another, you do expect a lot of things to be changed, mostly for the better. But Infernal Hell's Vengeance is so bad that it manages to be worse than the original PC port, which is 2.5 years older. I don't quite understand, but it is worse. It's well, for a start off, the core game is completely unchanged. They haven't changed the plot, they haven't changed the level design. Literally the only thing they've changed is they've added the subtitle Hell's Vengeance, and they've changed the control setup. You can't change these controls. On the PC you can fully rebind the keys, but there are no alternative control setups, so even if you don't like the controls, you have to stick with them. On another note, the controls are absolutely terrible, but we'll delve into that a bit later. Sensitivity I cranked up to max, but it still doesn't quite feel fast enough. It still feels like it lags sometimes, and it makes aiming a right pain in the arse. And sometimes your settings will be completely reset every time you exit and leave the game. And this is the main menu for Hell's Vengeance. So there's no multiplayer. It's single player only, and it's a linear 5 to 6 hour campaign is what's on offer here. This is the main menu. It's identical to the pause menu. Start a new game, as I've already played through the game once. We'll go on medium this time, as my first playthrough was on easy. Yes, and that's the loading screen. Trust me, you've not even seen the worst of it yet. There are so many things wrong with this game, so many. I think I'll show you the first few cutscenes at least, so you can get an idea of what the game's storyline is. The plot is so laughably bad, but I'll just sit back and you watch. I'll stay quiet, I promise. Yes, it was published by PlayLogic, who are no longer with us. They have gone bust. And it was developed by... come on. And... Metropolis Software, who are also defunct and no longer with us. Says everything, doesn't it? This was actually the last game Metropolis released before they went bust. They were merged into CD Projekt, who are responsible for the Witcher series.
It has begun.
What has begun? The shitfest that is this game? Yes. They've not even upgraded the visuals from the PC version. They haven't bothered. Oh no, it's this bit. Pay attention to the facial animations.
Angel suiting you.
Can't complain. Sex is no longer off limits.
Right, of course.
Also pay attention to the god-awful voice
Well,
acting.
What can I say? Had the light fired me.
You shouldn't give them so many reasons. You know, there are rules.
Come on, Barbara, I just did my job. I was the best at the light gun. Now I have to get by like any other unemployed human being. It's pretty cold down here, you know?
Is it? Right. Etherlight took away your powers. You're not an angel anymore. Did you... Do you ever...
What?
Do you ever miss... never mind. Look, I have something very important to tell you. There's been a...
Hold on a sec. Yeah?
Mr. Lennox. So, you're still alive. How convenient.
Who is this?
Your salvation. If you survive, meet me at East Road Cemetery.
Here we go. Here comes the introduction, or the prologue, as the game calls it.
What the hell?
Forgive me, Ryan. Now run! Get out of here now!
This is how the game starts. You're literally thrust right into this. You can't disable tutorials, I don't think. I'll just see if you can. Nope, you can turn off subtitles, but you can't disable tutorials. Fantastic. Right, control-wise, this has got to be one of the worst third-person shooters I've played in a long time. You can't... Right, there's no sprint mechanic, there's no aim down sights mechanic. Melee attacks are automatically performed when you stand right next to them by pressing the shoot button, which is mapped to the right trigger. And if you double tap the left stick in the same direction in quick succession, your character will perform a roll. Like that. Only problem is, the game seems to have a problem as to when it detects whether you're actually rolling or not. So, even if you don't feel like you're double tapping the left stick twice in quick succession, then tough, you'll do a roll anyway. You'll start rolling about around the combat field like a maniac. You really will. There's no way to prevent it. I've tried using different controllers and it doesn't help the problem. It's just a problem that the game has. What the left stick also does is, if you tap against the wall like that, you will take cover. And the cover mechanics are god awful because you can't shoot from behind cover. No, your character has to step out into the line of fire just to shoot your targets. It's stupid. You can't always seem to... Like, I'm tapping against the wall and you can't just take cover there for some reason. Oh yeah, and the game looks shit as well, just to top it all off. You might have noticed the heavy drums and guitars in the background. That's pretty much this game's soundtrack. Just loud noise. It is loud noise, there's nothing really much else to say about it. See, in most games, picking up ammo is just a matter of walking over the gun you want to pick up ammo for, and then you'll automatically get the ammo. But does Infernal do this? Oh no, oh no. What you have to do is you have to stand over the corpse, aim at it, and then hold X for about 3 seconds, so you're frisking the ammo from the corpse. Not too much later on, when you get Infernal Power, which gives you moves like teleportation and super damage, which we totally haven't seen before in other games. You can also get health from their corpses. But you have to do this in the middle of firefights, which makes it really impractical, and it's just a mess. This game is just a mess. There's no other way of putting it. I've got to be blunt. Oh, for God's sake, I didn't even roll then. That's the prologue. That's it. There's a loading screen after every new area. Which brings me on to my next point. There is no autosave function. I'll repeat that. There's no autosave function. You cannot autosave. You must save manually. I'm going to save now actually, because what happened to me the first time I played was I played for about 30 minutes thinking it checkpointed my progress, and then I died for the first time and I had to start the entire game again. Needless to say, I was not amused in the slightest. Yeah. So save every couple of minutes. Funnily enough, a PC version actually has an autosave function, which is really bizarre. What idiot programmer came up with the idea that we'd have to take out autosave? Maybe it's to make the game more challenging. So if you have a bad save and you can't continue, you have to quit playing? I don't know! It's just bizarre. We'll skip this cutscene, it's rather lengthy. But basically you get your infernal powers here. Now, the plot is basically you lose your job at Heaven and you are employed by Satan. Well, it's not really Satan, it's just a dude in a suit who looks fairly evil. But he gives you his infernal powers so you can fight the forces of Heaven to get into Hell. It really doesn't make sense. Let's get this cutscene as well, but here we go. Right, to find a way from the village to the Hochtempelberg Cloister. I don't know what I'm saying there. Oh, and when you get infernal powers, when you do a roll, you turn invisible because you do. Alright. This game's a mess. Oh yeah, there's certain areas where your mana, which you use to pull off infernal powers, like teleportation of a super damage move, decreases in areas such as churches and holy structures, but in evil areas such as dark basements it increases for some reason. Oh yeah, there's these little puzzles where you have to remotely open certain locked doors. It's just padding, really. It's just to make the game feel longer than it actually is. I mean, if there were none of these kinds of puzzles or anything like that the game threw at you, then I'd say you could beat this game in like 3 hours. But as it is, it's like 5-6 hours. It's a pretty short game, and unless you're an achievement hunter, there's no real reason to play it through more than once at all. Cool, because I've played this once, I do actually know what to do, so it's fairly straightforward. Oh yeah, and climbing up and down ladders. Sometimes when you approach a ladder as if you're about to climb down it, your character won't recognise that there's a ladder there, and you'll end up falling to your death.
Oh, be careful. Evil's approaching. I can feel it in the wind.
Whatever happened to small town hospitality?
For God's sake, this game is just horrible. I hate its guts. Oh, there's a sneak mechanic as well, where you can sneak around and move silently, but it's kind of useless. No, it's completely useless, as they still... trying to shoot that camera. I couldn't. There we go. Yeah, there's a sneak mechanic, but it's useless because... just because the enemies still notice you. There's no way to stealth areas like the game sort of advertised itself to say that there is, but there just isn't. Look, I'm sneaking around right now, and there'll be an enemy at some point. Not just now, actually, but... oh, there's a loading screen, of course. Alright, I've actually cut out that loading screen just to save the trouble from watching it. Here's our first enemy in the game. Watch me sneak. Oh, and do a roll. Watch him turn around. Oh, actually, that works quite well. Amazing. There's a it's a sneak attack! I didn't even know!
Didn't get a chance to died on me before Brock.
Right. Oh, that animation though. Oh. Here's the tutorial for feeding on people's souls so you can get health back. And ammunition.
I find it rather enjoyable. See for yourself.
Like that.
That way you gain energy and search dead bodies.
Cool. And weird. Which pretty much sums up my life.
Yeah, I mean, as if the voice acting wasn't bad enough, the dialogue is very... stilted, I think is the word. See? Sneaking right there, and just... I'm not even gonna... And now we go back to the mindless shooting. I mean, I do like mindless shooters, but I like them to be done in a way where the controls function properly and it feels fun. Infernal does neither of those things right. It doesn't feel fun and the controls are shit. So, you've got a lose-lose situation. That I don't know why I'm bothering trying, to be honest. Oh yeah, it's high-perform melees. Oh wait, no it isn't. Tried. Should also note there are only 5 missions in the entire game besides the prologue. Long levels divided up by many loading screens. Oh yeah, and you can take loads of damage as well. But you can't regenerate health. That's why the mechanic is implemented. This is atrocious. This is bloody atrocious. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, the AI is absolutely terrible. They just run to a predetermined shot and they will attack you from there. They might try to take cover or roll away, but they don't do it very often. They are inept to stay at best. I think I read one review that said that the AI characters have a combined IQ of about 40, which is pretty accurate. I'm not going to fault the review there. This game is atrocious. I don't see why anyone would actually like this game. I don't understand. Like it had like a half decent idea with the plot, which it was implemented so badly, and the rest of the gameplay mechanics are just.
Seems like we really have an intruder in the house.
Who's guarding the cable station?
The boss.
Oh yeah? No happy ride for our guest then.
Yeah, that's just me showing off Infernal attack. At its best, it's a very drab, dull third-person shooter, and at its worst, it's a complete clusterfuck of shite. I think that's the best way to describe this game in a nutshell. The game doesn't have a kind of waypoint or radar system of any kind, and the objectives are very vague. Like you might part of the reason why this game might take 5 to 6 hours is because you'll have no idea where to go, and it's only after looking online that you'll find out where to go. Just because the game doesn't tell you where to go, and all the areas look very similar. But the boss battles, there's no hints as to how to defeat a boss, and you'll use methods which you never even thought before. Like you might have to I think the first boss you have to shoot some lights out so you can regain your infernal power, and then you shoot him with your infernal power, and then you repeat that a few times until he dies. It's a drag. There's no need for it. It's the words aren't flowing out from my mouth here because look, this is literally the next 5 hours. That's what this game is. It's really dull. There's a good reason why the PC version got a 60 on Metacritic, and what did the 360 version get? Yeah, 35 out of 100. That's not a surprise, really, is it? Even the shooting just feels awkward. Like, it's one of in a game where all you do is shoot things. When the shooting feels rubbish, you know you've screwed up. You know you've fucked your game up badly. Oh yeah, and reloading's pointless because if you reload, you discard all of your ammunition in that magazine, so don't ever reload manually. See, teleporting could have been good, but it's merely just you can teleport for about 5 seconds to hold X on this door or console, so you can deactivate this camera or this laser. it's a wasted opportunity. I don't know why they decided to just leave teleportation as a few second power up rather than teleporting behind enemies and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Nope. It's the first boss battle of the game.
Leave the shadows. Show yourself.
I'm comfortable right where I am. Thank you.
Let there be light then. And we'll see how comfortable you feel, shadow creature.
This is what I mean by being cryptic. I mean, you'll see there's three lights there, and you have to shoot those out. Yep, that's the cover mechanics I've just shown you there. They're absolutely god awful. You might as well not use it. This last one's a bit tricky to hit. There we go. Then your infernal power starts recharging, and you hit him with your infernal attack about 4 or 5 times. He keeps turning the lights back on somehow, so you just shoot them out again. Go. That's 1, 2, that's 3. It's an exercise in tedium. That's what it is. Oh, that's it. Right, it's only 4 times then, and we have to frisk his corpse and get some kind of key card. Yep. If I were to give this game a score out of 10, it'll be a solid minus 3.5 out of 10. It is worse than a 0. Okay, maybe a 0 out of 10 for making me laugh at the atrocities it commits, at the sins the game commits, literally, with its laughably bad plots, laughably bad AI, terrible gameplay, and terrible graphics. And, of course, a very bland soundtrack and some questionable level design. That's your recipe for a bad game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to play any longer. I can't bring myself to do it. Thanks for watching, and please, as always, until next time, go away.